Good evening, folks, and welcome back. Welcome back, Olive. Welcome back, Sneak Cat, and welcome, Sam. Good to see you here. Yeah, I see we got Pokemon talk in the chat. Yes, indeed. Good luck with your catching, Olive. Let's see. Not a heck of a lot in terms of fandom news to really report. I guess, if you are keeping up with James Roach, if James Roach starts to stream, I would highly recommend checking that out because apparently he's been dropping little hints as to what's coming up next. But first, let's find out what happened in this week's Friendsim. So, this week, today, we are streaming Volume 17 with Daraya and Nihkee, and it's super fucking good, and I'm really fucking excited to share it with you all. It's a very good one. Okay, so, let's see. While I'm setting up the game, I'll try and remember some of the tidbits that I remember James Roach giving out. Well, first of all, yes, he has said at multiple points that there will be a bonus ending for people who have completed every ending with every character. Let me see. Is this showing up? Come on, game capture. Come on. Pick it up this time. Yeah, there's only one more. Can't wait to die on the 14th. I know, I'm so fucking excited. Not James Roach, but Trace Excalibur, David Turnbull on Tumblr today. Someone was asking, what's the move for the Soleils? And, he linked to... Let's see, is this... Yay, it's working! It just takes a second to catch. I get really nervous when it doesn't work because I hate using display capture mode when I have to use display capture mode. Oh, whoops, I didn't transition. There we go. There we go. Now there's no more text in the middle of the screen. Trace Excalibur, was asked what the mood for the Soleil twins, Barzum and Baizli, was. And he just linked to, the song from Saw, the Saw movies, that apparently is the same song that plays usually when they figure out the puzzle and they're finally bringing all of the pieces together. So I'm very excited for the Soleil route. I'm also excited for Lanque's route because he said that the mood for Lanque's route was climactic. And of course, just because, always excited about Lanque forever. Are the same end card for both of her bad endings. Testing out if you can get a bonus if you only get 2 of her endings. That is important research. Yes, Aleph. Please let us know what your findings are. Oh, who's first, Daraya or Nihkee? I need votes in chat for who is going up first. While I read the intro, cast your ballots. Ow, I just scratched myself in the face. Right on my lip piercing, which is being very annoying because the weather is very dry, so it's a little irritated. Okay, one for Daraya first, one for Daraya last. Sam, you're the deciding vote. Let me know what you're down for. Oh, wait, Sneaker, are you changing your vote? Anyway. Yes. Let me know if you are voting Daraya first now. Anyway. Let's read this intro. Let's get pumped. Ah, yes. This is it, fellas. Another night of laughter and camaraderie. Another night of joy and communion with some totally normal teens who would never... Just kidding, idiot. You're still on Alternia. You just know one of these miserable chucklefucks is around here somewhere, waiting for the exact right moment to inundate you with another disgusting dose of friendship. Who's going to be the author of your destruction on this accursed evening? You are changing. Okay, so then that's 2 out of 3 for Daraya. So we shall do Daraya Janjet first. Muted. Oh, okay. You're gonna. Okay. Good stuff, because we are about to get started. Okay, Nihkee. We will get to Nihkee, but first, Daraya Janjet. Oh my god, I love Daraya so much, and I'm so excited to replay her route. She is fantastic. Okay. Oh shit. Where the fuck are my earbuds? I don't have my earbuds plugged in. I don't want to blast music through my computer, because then it'll do the weird echo thing with the microphone. Okay, now I have my headphones. Yay! That's nice. Got Zapdos on your first try. Your Pikachu's named Thor. I like that. And of course, yes, she's a lesbian. Okay. Speaking of gay shit, because there's a little bit in here. Daraya Janjet. Your feet drag as you walk, every limb heavy and slow, and your thoughts are, very important content warning that I forgot. Daraya Janjet, content warning for nihilistic thoughts, and suicidal ideation. So, yeah, I look over to the chat and I see Sneak Cat getting so excited about the gay shit. But, like, yeah, there's gay shit, but there's also nihilism and a little bit of suicidal ideation. So, just so you are aware that those things are going to pop up at certain points during this route. It is still, I mean, in a way it is. Yeah. Which one is the heavier one would be an interesting discussion to have, but yes, that's, I don't, no, it's okay, Sneak Cat. I just feel it important to give the proper content warnings for things. So now that I've done that, let's start reading. Your feet drag as you walk, every limb heavy and slow, and your thoughts are cloudy and dull. Your palm husk is filled with unanswered texts. You feel guilty about this in the back of your mind, where the real feelings live, crammed together because the front of your mind is too busy being lethargic and numb. Being a bad friend goes against the core tenets of your beliefs, but answering text just seems like too much effort. That's a mood sometimes. Yeah. You're not sure where this particular malaise came from, just that the usual friend-making animus that drives you is still there, but it doesn't feel strong enough to overcome how tired you are of everything else. You can't quite remember how it felt to care that much about companionship and camaraderie. In fact, right now you can't remember how it felt to care about much of anything. Your thoughts drift to fantasies of driving your car into the uninhabited Alternian desert until you run out of fuel, and perhaps letting the sun have its way with you. It could be part of that feeling that you've almost made all the friends there are to make, and that there's little left for you to do on this planet. It could be weeks of trauma catching up and sinking you into depression to protect you from thinking about it all. Either way, It just feels like so much effort to do anything, and you'd sort of welcome oblivion if it showed up right now to offer its sweet embrace. Yeah, MSPA Reader's not in a good place. Your listless walking has taken you into a familiar neighborhood. Ah, the cerulean part of town. You smile as you reminisce, sweet memories peeking through like little beams of sunlight through the fog of your apathy. Not far from here is Malik's Hive, with all of its hacking equipment and charming upper-middle-class atmosphere of entitlement and complacence mixed with vaguely socially aware concern. And though you've only seen pictures of it on Chitter, you know that Ramel's hipster art studio / hive is also in the neighborhood. And one block over is Ardata's place, which gave you your gruesome and troubling introduction to Alternian social mores. One taught you love, one taught you patience, one taught you pain. Or something like that. Okay, the music has started. What a fucking bop. I love Daraya's music so much. I think it might actually be one of my favorite tracks in the entire Friendsim discography. It is so fucking great. Like, right up my alley. Okay. So, we've landed ourselves in a party neighborhood. I haven't seen anything particular about the whether or not there are cameos in this background, but I know that there is another background in this volume that does have a lot of weird little cameos for us to pick apart. We shit our pants about Chahat being mentioned in Amicia's route. I know! Like, we've come so far. I don't want it to end, but also I really want to know how it ends. I know, right, Sneakat? It's such a fucking good song. Oh my god. I love it so much. Okay. The hive you're closest to is actually L-Words, and as you shamble closer, you realize that a lot of other trolls seem to be converging here too. Fishing out your palm husk, you see that the unread message from L-Word is an invitation to a party at her place. Looking around you feel a flame of your old desire to meet and greet rekindling in your heart. There are plenty of trolls here you haven't met yet. Plenty of opportunities for friendship. The now roaring fire in your belly feels a little artificial, like someone just injected you with friend-making hormones to flood out your regular human melancholy, but you're not going to complain because this is vastly preferable. No idea who any of them are, but Lampshade Guy is a mood. Yeah. No, that's fair. Lampshade Guy is definitely got something going on there. Yeah, the short troll on the left is like, what a damn mess. You just miss Joey and Zephyros. I know. I really hope that after the Friendsims are finished, either sometime close to when they release Volume 18, or when there would theoretically be the next Friendsim Friday after that. So on the 28th, I guess that would... Is that a Friday? Yes, that's a Friday. I did do the math correctly. On the 28th, when there would supposedly be another volume, we get an announcement for Hiveswap Act 2. That is my guess. That's what I'm hoping for. I really would love to get back to our sweethearts, Joey and Zephyros, and also I'm super excited to see how they interact with all of the trolls we just met. As you're walking briskly towards L-Word's hive, you spot a troll lurking in the shadows by L-Word's back door. Curious, you approach, and when you get closer, you can spot the jade green in her outfit. Although, there's not much of her blood color in comparison to what most other trolls seem to sport, because she's mostly wearing black. And spikes. And black spikes. Big mood. That's my wardrobe, motherfucker. There she is! Yay! Ugh, it's you. Guess it makes sense you'd be here. You're probably friends with L-Word, huh? Whatever. Yeah, you're friends with Elward, but you didn't come here for the party. You're just in the neighborhood. You tried to mimic Daraya's disaffected slouch. It's not hard, as you can just channel the you from about 60 seconds ago, who was very disaffected indeed. From the approving arch of Daraya's eyebrow, you think you're doing a pretty good job. Yeah, parties are boring. Most parties are anyway. This one might be cool. Elward's pretty cool. Gay! So gay! Look at that blush in her cheeks! I mean, she seems alright. I don't think she's that cool. I just think her hair and clothes and personality don't completely suck us all. You tactfully don't comment on the green blush to Daraya's cheeks as when she's talking about Elward, nor the way she keeps glancing at the door like she's hoping someone will invite her in. She's clearly trying to sneak into this party and doesn't have an invite. When a branch snaps in the bushes, Daraya startles and looks around shiftily. You wonder if she's supposed to be out on her own this far from the caverns at all. I'm not a baby like Wanshi. So what if I snuck out? The cloister rules are so dumb. Bronya is so dumb. I can't believe Elward used to hang out with her, but I guess if she hadn't befriended Bronya, then I never would have met her. It's hard to meet non-Jade Bloods in the caverns. All the time you're underground with nothing but Lucii and grubs and the same stupid Jades every day. It sucks down there. Daraya's imitation grub horn bracelets clunk as she folds her arms over her chest. Her heavy makeup makes it look like her eyes are twin black holes, where all sense of fun and caring about things might go to die. She's giving you a marked contrast from how Bronya talked about the caverns, with the peace and quiet and safety they offered compared to Alternia's surface. And other than that time Laenura nearly killed you in a cave, and that time you were nearly trampled by rampaging Lucis, you remember liking the caverns. You would think that. Don't know why I thought you might be cool. You might be friends with Elward, but you're also friends with Bronya and Laenura. They're two of the most boring trolls on this planet. You can't help but feel slightly defensive of your friends. Sure, Laenura is Laenura, but you wouldn't call her boring. And Bronya is very fond of rules, it's true, but she can hang. Whatever. This conversation is dumb. I don't care if you can't get me into the party. Nothing matters anyway. Just make your stupid choice and get on with it. Okay. Wouldn't call Laenura boring. Yeah, Laenura sure is something. Okay, we are at the first choice, so as usual, gonna get that short ending knocked out of the park right away. And then when we get to choice number 2, it is chat's choice. So, short ending out of the way, suggest that she goes home. Thinking about the Jadeblood Caverns has got you really missing them. The quiet monotony, the cute little grubs, the dank air and darkness. You can't think of a better place to lie down and have a depression nap, perhaps even a depression coma. So you straighten up out of your slouch and tell Daraya that regardless of her opinion on Bronya and how cool or boring she is, those cloister rules probably exist for a reason, right? Maybe the two of you can both go back to the caverns together. Ugh. Fine, be a goody two-spirit strut prod encasements. I'm gonna go somewhere that's not so boring. Womp womp. Oh no! I'm a fool idiot. Start recording. Okay, now I am recording. I forgot to hit the record button. Damn it. So I'm gonna have to download, fuck. I'm gonna have to download, part of the stream off of, Twitch and hope that the frame rate doesn't fucking suck. Oh, well. Okay. At least, you know what? At least I caught it this early and not like halfway through Nikki's route realized I wasn't recording it. Okay, so back we are. Obviously, the correct answer is party hard. What the hell? It's not your job to keep anyone in line, and it's not like you have a great understanding of why even the older Jadebloods need to stay underground anyway. If Daraya wants to sneak into parties and get into trouble, who are you to say no? Daraya expresses no pleasure at your decision to get her into the party. She just shrugs and rolls her eyes. You shrug and roll your eyes back. You can play the role of a disaffected teen with the best of them. You take her around to the front door. Hey, you're looking forward to seeing Elward again. When you met her, you didn't have nearly as many friends as you do now, and in retrospect, you know you came off as kind of sycophantic. Wouldn't it be great if you could introduce Elward to the new, popular, and knowledgeable you? As you're walking up the steps, a huge shadow dwarfs yours. You look up to see Chahat, of all trolls, grinning above you. Was this the cameo you were expecting for this one? Because, wasn't what I was expecting. But here we are. Yay, Chahat! Well, hey there, little one. I remember you. And who's this new little one you got with you? Chahat switches her interest from you to Daraya, grinning down at her. Daraya isn't huge for a Jadeblood or anything, but she seems absurdly tiny, with Chahat looming down at her like that. Her face remains impassive and bored, but she scuffs one of her big black boots on the ground and twists one of her spiky bracelets around on her wrist. Cute. Don't see many little jades outside of the caverns. I've always found greenies fascinating. So devoted to the continuation of the species. What a holy mission. Chahat moves slow and lazily, like she has all the time in the world and no conceivable reason to rush, and reaches out to pat Daraya's shoulder. She lets her hand linger, one claw resting against Daraya's neck. Ain't it a dangerous proposition to be so far away from your green brothers and sisters? Unless you're hiding something in those pretty veins. A slimy chill runs down your spine. Daraya seems frozen to the spot, staring straight ahead at Chahat's bosom in front of her. You think Chahat is joking, but it can be hard to tell with clowns. Their humor is just so much more highbrow than everyone else's. Just joking. This looks like a pretty good party, even if Elward is too blasphemous for my taste sometimes. See both of you little ones inside. And that's that. And then she ambles away, bending down to duck inside the door to the party. You hear party sounds, music and laughter and clinking drinks and what could be the sound of someone being murdered, which qualifies as a party noise on this planet. Yeah, she's like, so, that happened, that's cool. Oh, poor sweetheart. Then the door swings shut again, and you and Daraya look at each other. Daraya's heavy makeup can make it hard to read her expression, but you can still tell that she's rattled. You know what? It looks like this party's filled with stupid conformers. All these high-bloods that buy into the system and do what they're told, even Elward. We can find something better to do somewhere else. Yeah, to hell with this party. You're down to find your own fun, especially if that means not putting Daraya in the way of potentially murder-happy clowns. As you saunter away from the party, you realize that Daraya is looking at you expectantly. Well, you've got this reputation for being all unconventional and weird and rebellious. Everyone seems to think that you're like totally fucking with the conventions of society or whatever. Oh, that you're totally fucking with the conventions of society or whatever. So you got any suggestions for cool shit to do? God, you sure felt a lot of pressure to be quirky since the word has spread about your manic pixie dream alien ways. It's not like you're trying to be a vehicle for other characters to project onto, assisting in character growth and insight for those around you while your impulse decisions and carefree ways somehow keep yourself stagnant and forever unchanged. It just seems to sometimes be like that. Anyway, you're tired, and it's daunting to have a punk teen expecting you to come up with suggestions for cool stuff. You have a feeling she's just going to shoot down whatever you suggest. You rack your brain trying to think of anywhere from your many adventures that Daraya might like. Your think pan comes up with zilch and squat, and she's starting to look bored with you. Confessing that you can't think of anything is probably an option if you want Daraya to be your friend, and as exhausted and disillusioned as you feel with your socialite routine, you like her and you want to bond. Okay, chat. It is your turn to choose. Option number 1. Dunno. What do you want to do? Option number 2. Wander the streets like hoodlums. I'ma have a sip of water. Y'all toss your choices in chat. God, this music is so fucking good. I have my earbud out when I'm reading, but I just popped it back in while I was having some water. Here. Oh, Aleph, you are abstaining from the vote this time. Okay. Sneak Cat, Sam, either of you have a preference for which route we pick first? You don't like... Oh, true! That is unsettling. That is... lined up in a very weird way. Okay, we have a vote for wandering the streets like hoodlums. What are you thinking, Sneak Cat? Neutral? Okay, we are going to wander the streets like hoodlums. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I just dropped my things on the floor. Gotta put that back up there. Okay. Alright. Wander the streets like hoodlums. Here's the thing. Your weirdest and best adventures have happened when you've decided to be spontaneous and just let shit happen. Adventures and coolness are both hard things to plan. So, what are you suggesting? That we just wander? Her derisive tone makes you hesitate, but, well, yes, that's exactly what you're suggesting. Daraya gives you a long, considering look. You hold your breath. Then she shrugs. Okay, whatever, sure. Not like I have anything better to do. Let's just go. Okay, so there are some translations here. There are background signs. So, I have translations for these background signs. From left to right. The purple one on the far left, it just says shirt. The lime one, next in line, says grub. The red sign behind Daraya's shoulder, the character sprites move and we eventually get to see the whole sign, so I'll give that translation when we get to see the whole thing. But the kind of jade blood color looking sign on the right hand side says loosest butts. And let's see, so the bottom trolls do not seem to be background cameos, but we do have up on the right hand side of the screen, just on the balcony of the building with the two blue windows, right next, they're just above the end of the sign with a little cup on it. Tagora and Gallic on what we can only assume is a candlelight hate date. You meander through the well-maintained cerulean streets, heading downtown. This seems like a good opportunity to get to know your new potential friend, so you start by asking her some fairly simple questions. How am I? Gee, I don't know. I'm forbidden to leave this stupid caverns, and as a Jade Blood, all I have to look forward to is a life of being forbidden to do things. How do you think I am? Okay. You try to walk that one back a little. It sounds like Daraya is unsatisfied with the Jade setup. That one has what goggles on? Yes, eyes at the candlelight hate date, I know. If only we could hear what they were saying. Oh, to be a fly on the wall. That's one way to put it. You could also say that I'm dissatisfied with, like, the whole setup of my species. You've been here for a while now. Don't tell me you haven't noticed that every part of our society is transparent bullshit. You glance around, because Daraya is right. You've been around for a while, and that means you've been around for a while, and that means you know enough to know that if the wrong people overheard this kind of talk, you'd both get culled on the spot. But everyone here seems distracted by their own nonsense. Cautiously, you concede that, yeah, you've noticed a certain bullshit aroma. The bottom right, the greenish one. Yeah. That's the sea dweller. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, it all stinks. No one has any kind of real future except for the highest of the high bloods. And actually, I've heard that things pretty much suck for them too. Some might say that purple bloods are the most disprivileged class of them all. Stop bringing this back. Do not. You're just gonna continue to not comment on that one. Instead, you point out that being a Jade Blood, Daraya has a purpose beyond just growing up to become fodder in the Imperial Army, like you've heard other trolls mention. Surely that counts as a real future. Ugh. Don't get me started. Suffice to say, I'm not exactly hype about the purpose that I supposedly have. More like the purpose that was arbitrarily assigned to me. It's not like I have a choice, and rebelling in any sort of real way would put me in danger of a culling. Life here is pretty much just hopeless. Damn, you wish you had a good counter-argument. You want to give her some words of comfort, but what can you even say? Daraya's right, shit's grim. Ugh, at least you're honest. Thanks for not bullshitting me. You know, Lanque said you were good to talk to about real stuff. Guess she was right. You're surprised that Lanque is going around talking about you, saying positive things even, but you're more surprised that Daraya is bringing her up in a non-derisive context. You didn't know that Daraya and Lanque were close. Ugh, no, gross. I hate Lanque. And not in a romantic way. Or, well, anyway, never mind. More of that gay shit. I swear they're doing this to torture us. Yeah, they absolutely are. That is the nature of Homestuck. That is the very nature of Homestuck. Daraya looks embarrassed and flustered, and also pissed at you. At least you've gotten the subject away from how hopeless everything is, but still, you don't want this friendship to sour. Okay, now that she's moved, the sign's in the back. So we have that aqua blue one. The middle two letters are E and A, but I can't, the two letters on the ends are really fucking blurry. I've been having a hard time translating them. But the two red signs in the very back, the one on the left says eat, and the one on the right says stickball. As you're scanning your useless brain for a tactful subject change, you're saved by the footsteps of a new troll approaching. Yes! Tysius! There she be! I fucking love Tysius. Yeah. If it's a troll font, well, yeah, all of the signs are in, all of the signs are in the Alternian font. However, the thing with translations is that with the way they're written, it's basically one-to-one English. Like everything is just spelled in English. It's just a matter of converting the letters. But I cannot fucking figure out what those two blobs on the end are. I'm very frustrated. Yes, she with her water. And as luck would have it, you know this troll. It's Tysius, which makes sense because your meandering has taken you and Daraya close to Tysius's favorite book hive. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Never mind. I don't even need to ask. You're obviously making friends with this jade blood. Searching for some dumb shit to do, no doubt. Don't let me keep you. Tysius looks just as exhausted as you remember. You don't want her to go just yet, because it's been a while since you've seen her, and you're always eager for an opportunity to catch up with a friend, especially one of the less murderous ones. Then you notice Daraya eyeing Tysius's mug of unidentifiable liquid, and an idea occurs to you. You get excited, bouncing a little on the balls of your feet as you introduce Tysius and Daraya to each other. A font within a font? Oh, so it's like, yeah, like a font style of the Alternian writing. Yeah, that has appeared in a couple of places in Friendsim, as well as in Hiveswap, and it just makes things so much more frustrating to translate. But yeah, it's super fuzzy back there. And I'm mad. You explain to Tysius with a meaningful look that you hope she'll interpret correctly that you and Daraya were just conversing about the more unjust aspects of Alternian society and how hopeless everything seems to be. What do you mean the more unjust aspects? Does Alternian society have aspects that are not unjust? I'm sweeps into studying our legal system, and I haven't found any. Daraya makes a muffled sound that could be a laugh. You make your meaningful look more meaningful. Doesn't Tysius remember that conversation she had with you about justice and the shitty system? The importance of possibly futile work to try and improve things someday? Pissing? Tysius squints at you, then takes a long slurp from her mug. She's just like, what the fuck are you trying to do here, buddy? What the fuck are you trying to do here? Right. Yeah, I remember. You wave your hands around. Now we're talking. Tysius is one of the few friends you've made that seems to not only notice that shit was fucked, but wanted to dedicate herself to unfucking the shit as much as she could. Of course, many of your dear friends try to make the world a little better in various clumsy, interpersonal, distinctly Alternian ways. You think of Chixie striving for her music, even when it pits her against Highbloods, the baffling but sweet way that Connell and Nastasia and Gallic and Tagora care for each other, and Fozzer's commitment to political... Wait, why did you think of that guy? He's a total shill for the Condis. Ouch. Which one is the true Fozzer? Anyway, Tysius has a big picture mentality and a cause that she believes in, and the simple fact that she hasn't yet completely given up is inspiring. Daraya is struggling with feelings of despair, so maybe Tysius could talk to her about the work that she's been doing. What? No, I'm not struggling. It's whatever. I don't even care. Daraya kicks at the ground skulkily. Tysius looks her over, her eyes lingering on the jade symbol on her shirt and her spiky black jewelry, then sighs. Sure you don't care. I went through a phase of telling myself that too. I thought it would make it easier to deal. But nah. truer word never been spoken. Tysius pauses for another mug slurp, and you think she might be enjoying the opportunity to monologue a little bit. Daraya huffs. The only thing that helps, and I'm not even sure that helps is the right word for it, is finding something to work on your own little corner. To try and make you a little less... But there's nothing I can do in my corner. It's pointless to pretend otherwise. And that goes for everyone. Like, this whole system is designed to help Highbloods stamp out dissent in every corner. The only troll... One troll can't do anything against something like that. Tysius' eyebrow twitches as she stares at Daraya, clearly peeved at being interrupted. Uh-oh. This could be going better. Well, no shit. What do you take me for? I'm not saying that all it takes is standing up and fighting for what's right or something stupid like that. That's obviously a surefire way to get called. Well, what are you saying? And how can you even know what? And how that's a typo. That should say that, not what. And how can you even know that whatever piddly little action you're taking will change anything? I can't tell you the future, dumbass. Oh my god. I love her so much. I can't tell you the future, dumbass. Whew. Okay. No one can give you a guarantee that any kind of action taken will be ultimately effective. You have to decide for yourself that it's worth it to try anyway. Why would you think it's worth it when everything around us confirms that nothing will ever change? I can't believe you're calling me a dumbass when that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Tysius looks like she's about ready to throw the contents of her mug in Daraya's face. Knowing trolls, she'd probably follow up with the mug itself. This is not the conversation you'd hoped for at all. Tysius is a fucking gem. Tysius is such a mood. I love her so much. You step in before things can get any more heated. You tell Tysius that you're sorry and that you didn't flag her down, just that her ideas could get shit on. You turn to Daraya, who is staring at both of you with a defiant look on her face and a stubborn set to her jaw. This kid, she's just so dead set on rebelling against anyone who tries to tell her anything with even the faintest whiff of authority. You really thought that maybe all that attitude could be channeled into something productive that would also help her feel better and possibly even give her a sense of purpose. You're not mad, just disappointed. Ugh. Don't give me that look, okay? I was just stating my opinion. But I guess I could have been less of a bone bulge about it. You're pleasantly surprised that Daraya more or less apologized. Tysius looks mollified too. Odd! Welcome, Odd. Her eyes actually... You thought she was gonna become Sans? Oh my god. Fuck. Is her quirk spikes? Yeah, her quirk is spikes. Some people have noticed, or have tried to figure out what the pattern is, because sometimes the triangles change whether they're pointing up or pointing down. Sometimes they'll disappear off the end. Sometimes they'll both be up, sometimes they'll both be down. So there's definitely like a little more to it than just the spikes representing her imitation grub horn bracelets. But there's definitely there's something to do with the triangles. I think it's connected to her moods. This shit just makes me so angry and sad and helpless. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself when I really have to think about it. Bingo, unfortunately. I feel the same way. I don't think there's any getting around the helplessness. But what I was trying to say is that working on something that might help fix things someday makes that feeling a little less powerful. So what you're saying is that it's just about making yourself feel better? Well, when you put it like that, it sounds bad. I believe I'm working on things that might affect change someday, even if I'm not around to see it. But also, yeah, most of the time it helps me sleep at night too. You can tell Daraya is a bit disappointed by this. Like, she doesn't trust that political rebellion can go hand in hand with making the rebels feel good about themselves. You point out that whether or not Tysius feels good about her work doesn't make the work itself any less effective. Yeah, in the end, the universe doesn't care about how I feel. I'm just one troll trying to do the right thing. Or at least the okay thing. For its own sake. Even if it might ultimately be futile. What the fuck else are we gonna do on this bitch of an Alternia? What the fuck else are we gonna do on this bitch of an Alternia? Yeah. Very applicable to Earth as well. You got me there. I'm bored all the time, and there really isn't anything cool to do down in the caverns. I guess during the downtime in my training I could, I don't know, help you out maybe? Not that I have anything to offer other than the book hive and the jade cloisters. Access to that might really help with my research, actually. Give me your number and we can talk. Is it just your imagination? Or does Tysius look a smidgen less tired, the bags under her eyes less baggy, and her back a little straighter? And you think the corners of Daraya's lips might be very slightly quirked up. Daraya turns her possibly a smile from Tysius to you. See, this is what I was talking about in reference to her quirk earlier. The downward-facing triangle has disappeared from the end of her sentences. This was cool, I guess. Or at least not so bad. But I don't know if it counts as something cool. So I guess we could keep hanging out until more shit happens. You know Daraya well enough by now to recognize this for the ringing endorsement that it is. You're about to happily agree when Tysius pipes up. I'm just heading home from studying, but I'm not tired yet. If you wanted a third wheel to drag along. Three-way friendship combo bob victory! Lots of clapping for all of this. Makes me so happy! Ah! Also, this end panel is so fucking cute. Yeah, I know. Combo Bob. Sweeper one Hella Jeff reference secured. Ah, they're so adorable. Okay. So that is the good end. Yeah, just doing writing. But we still have one more left, Odd. We still have yet to do the bad end. So, Odd, to get you caught up, basically, you find Daraya having run away from the caverns outside of Elward's house at a party, and the two of you decide to take off after a questionable encounter with Chahat. Seemed friendly, but who the fuck knows with murder clowns, so they decided to leave, and now they're deciding what to do next. So that was wander the streets like hoodlums, and now the bad end. Get fucking ready. Oh, and Odd, right. So just so you know, Odd, content warning for this route for nihilism, nihilistic thoughts, and suicidal ideation. Just so you are aware, it is something to be aware of. It's certainly a presence. Dunno. What do you want to do? You tell Daraya that you have no ideas for cool things to do because everything on this planet is dumb. But she's from here. Doesn't she know of any non-dumb places to go? Ugh, I told you, I'm stuck underground all the time. It's not my fault that I'm literally sheltered and never get to do anything fun. Oops. Maybe this was the wrong approach. She seems pissed at you. But then Daraya sighs loudly and uncrosses her arms from her chest. Oh, fun, it's you in high school. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I mean, I can't vouch for that, but Daraya is certainly reminiscent of a lot of teens. But then Daraya sighs loudly and uncrosses her arms from her chest. I do know one place that's pretty alright, I guess. Better than here, anyway. It's far, though. Not a problem. You got wheels. You were walking around the neighborhood because, well, you felt lifeless and glum, and your car needs alien fuel, which you've been reluctant to ask someone how to get because you don't want to be told it runs on grub grease or something like that. But now you have purpose again, and you're more than willing to provide transportation service in service of your new friendship goal. You take Daraya to your car parked a few blocks away, and she directs you where to go. You drive through neighborhood after neighborhood, through the yellow blood slums where you met Follicle and Cuprum, the busy urban sector where you had adventures with Tagora, and the austere indigo blood enclave where Gallic lives. Eventually, the buildings get sparse, and you think about how you were yearning to drive out into the barren landscape and not die, maybe, but stop. Just let it all end. You don't think Daraya would take you all the way out here just for you both to meet sweet oblivion, but who knows, trolls can be kinda hard to predict. Just when you think you've reached a point where there can't be any more city or suburbs left, a rubble of massive old buildings comes into view. It looks almost like a miniature version of the main Alternian city that you're used to, except it's all abandoned and mostly ruined. Nothing around here looks inhabitable. Rumor has it that some of the trolls who lived here pissed off the Condus, so she called this whole town. That would have been way back in the day. Ancient history now. If there were any survivors, I guess they'd be either dead or up in space. Anyway, all these old buildings are kinda sick. There's never anyone else here, and I'm into that. So, the idea with these buildings and the dating of them, of course, the most popular theory would be that this is a town that was destroyed during either the Sufferer's time on Alternia or the Limeblood genocide. You drive until she tells you to stop in front of a huge crumbling building. Even though this thing is half gone, you can still tell it's a mall. It seems a bit different from the mall you visited with Polypa, even aside from the fact that it's totally dark and there's no one inside it. It seems more old-fashioned, a lot more like one of your familiar Earth malls. Every dystopian movie you've ever seen has taught you to be extremely wary of abandoned malls, and you feel pretty nervous as Daraya takes you up the rickety, frozen escalator. It's so dark you can barely see your hand in front of your face. You're trying not to show your fear, because you don't want to look like a wuss in front of Daraya, but you can't hold back a whimper when your foot lands on a step that makes a distinctive about-to-collapse noise. Yeah, so this is an interesting look at historical Alternia. So the F all Limebloods. Yes, press F to pay respect. Last of Us DLC, interesting. Fourth time period to Alternian history. Yeah, we have Beta Troll time, Hiveswap Troll time, Sufferer time, and the Lime Blood genocide. So, yeah, this whole neighborhood is gone. And that of course, the theory that it was destroyed because it was the Sufferer's time of the Lime Blood genocide comes from the fact that it's specifically noted that it looks very, very much, less high-tech than the rest of Alternia that MSP reader has seen. Casually bop into Daray's music. Fuck yes. Don't be scared. It's okay. I've climbed all over this place 1,000 times, and anything that isn't already disintegrated is sturdy enough. And there's no risk of culling out here because, well, everyone's already been culled. She's gentler towards you than you would have expected, given her cynical and spiky demeanor. You swallow your fear as you reach the top of the escalator and tell her that it's chill, you just have some horror movie associations. You were thinking of the Summoner's Rebellion. True! Oh my god, I forgot that those two things were technically different historical periods. I mean, did the Summoner's Rebellion happen close to the Sufferer's Rebellion? Because I always had it in my head that they were within a pretty similar historical period. Daraya turns and pats you stiffly on the arm. You would never tell her this, but her reassuring manner once she's noticed someone is in distress kind of reminds you of Bronya. You believe it happened after the Signless death. Okay, yeah. After the Signless death, but like within a similar time period, or like in a whole other era. Mindfang had this whole thing. Yeah. I want to do more research on this ancestor timeline because I always feel like I understand the events that happened, but the chronology is a little fuzzy to me. It's worth it when you get to the cool part. Come on. Shit continues to be dark for a while, though you see some light up ahead. As you get closer, the hall opens up into a food court, and you see that the light is moonlight shining through the mostly absent roof. And Daraya was right. There is something extremely surreal and cool about a decrepit, empty food court with the roof caved in. Red Glare was a cult-era Suffer worshipper. Right. Yeah. No, that... in order to do that, that probably would have had to be... There would have had to be some distance from that as a historical event. Rubble sits atop cafeteria tables and plastic food trays are scattered on the floor, and... Okay, that might be the remains of a troll skeleton still wearing a mostly disintegrated fast food uniform, which is less cool and makes you remember that this place is abandoned because the Condens sent drones here to murder everyone. You wanna know the weirdest thing about this mall? It seems like actual adults used to maybe work here. Right, that is the next clue that is setting the stage for the historical period of when this mall existed. It was before all adults were pushed off of Alternia. I've gone through a lot of the stores, and some of them are for adult-sized things. And there's a store just for like shit the drones bring you now. There's army supplies for going off-world too. If this mall was for adults, it must be really fucking ancient. So, stores for adults, stores for things the drones would bring you, stores for army supplies. Very, very old. Seems like it would likely be from before the Summoner's Rebellion. Because yes, it was the Summoner's Rebellion. That was the trigger moment for for adult trolls to be all shipped off planet. Jeez, has it really been that long since there were any adults on this planet? Even after all your time on Alternia, that still kind of freaks you out. What must that be like, to grow up entirely without adults? To live on a planet that's nothing but kids? Daraya gives you a weird look. What would it even be like to have adults down here too? That sounds way more dangerous and stupid. It's not like we're all wigglers. Trolls have to grow out of that mindset pretty fast. Ouch, sweetheart. People have responsibilities or whatever the fuck, or at least they pretend to. And there's training and stuff for Jades. We're basically trapped. Maybe you think that a planet of kids would mean you can do whatever you want, but I've never had any freedom. And I'll have even less as an adult. Cloistered Jades aren't even allowed to join the Imperial Army. Instead, we get shipped off and to live in isolation. We're forbidden to contribute genetic material to the slurry, and no paling is allowed once we're mature. So for some dunno bullshit old-fashioned reason I pretty much don't understand at all. Okay, so let's take a second to talk about this line. So we're forbidden to contribute genetic... So they're sent... So, cloistered Jades aren't allowed to join the Imperial Army. Instead, they get shipped off to live in isolation. They're forbidden to contribute genetic material, no paling. Yeah, so that is an interesting thing to take note of. Shit, I had a point where was I going with this? Oh, so basically the specific terminology that they're using, right? The word cloister. Let me look up a dictionary definition so I explain this properly. So, a cloister, as according to Google, is so cloistered means secluded or shut up in, or as if in a convent or monastery. So that's like a very specific kind of religious reference to nuns and monasteries and that sort of lifestyle associated with celibacy. So this I know one of the things that a lot of people were excited about with this was that it gives us a little bit of a new perspective on Kanaya, because this was kind of the future that Kanaya was set up for, and it kind of recontextualizes like her attraction to rebellion, and sort of the way that she seeks out romantic relationships. So not being allowed to contribute genetic material, there are some other theories about why exactly that would be. I have heard some folks discussing the possibility that this was a rule set in place to try and avoid another Dolorosa situation. And this, okay, I have a theory of my own that I don't think I've actually seen anywhere before, but here's my first thought would be that, eugenics, of course, because it's fucking fastest helpful, that the Jade Bloods have some part of their genetic code in their DNA that is prone to the, it's key for the creation of Lime Bloods. It's more prone to genetic mutation and creation of the Red Bloods, those two kind of theories kind of connect as well, because with the extended Zodiac, it was kind of confirmed that Karkat's kind of candy red blood is, technically speaking, a genetic mutation of Lime. Yeah, I know there's some other theories. They're slipping my mind at the moment. Yeah, anyway, space nuns. On Alternia, your whole future is decided the second you're hatched. People tell me all the time that I have it lucky as a jade blood. I don't feel lucky at all. Oof, yeah. You agree with Daraya that the future she's described sounds bleak as hell. Right? It's gonna fucking suck. And it's so shitty that I have it good. I mean, at least I don't have certain early death in my future, unlike a lot of low bloods. The system is so fucked up, and it's never gonna change, and I hate it here. I just want a way out of it. So, notice that at different points in the conversation, so we see I don't feel lucky at all, and we've got her triangles at the beginning and end in, you know, the pattern that they kind of have always followed, being the pointing up at the start and pointing down at the end. As we continue, now the mood has switched. It's pointing down at the beginning and up at the end. And once we reach I just want a way out of it, they're both pointing up. So there's definitely been some kind of really sharp shift in mood. I really think that these triangles and the way that they're pointing and how they're used is connected specifically to her mood. I just want a way out of it. Maybe when you go back to your home planet, you could take me with you? Oh, sweetie. The request comes out of left field, and for a few seconds you just blink at her stupidly. Even with all that angry black makeup around her eyes, she just looks so sad. Sad and lost. You wish you had a different answer to give her, but you tell her that you can't take her back to your planet because you don't know how, when, or if you're ever going home. You've been trying not to contemplate the future because on the rare occasion that you do let yourself think about it, existential dread tends to take over. Dread. Yeah, that's the word for it. The older I get, the more I realize how shitty things are. I try not to think about it, just like you. But it still hits home sometimes, and when it does, I don't feel like angry or rebellious. Instead, I feel completely fucking paralyzed. Sorry, I'm just gonna double check something. Okay, no, we're good. Sorry. I thought I lost the stream, but we're good. Okay. This, too, is a familiar emotion to you. You feel for Daraya, who has wandered over to the middle of the food court and is standing up through the cave and is staring up through the cave-in at the moons. She has her arms wrapped around her middle, and the spiky jewelry and jagged haircut and big black boots don't do anything to make her look less small. You wish you knew what to say to make her feel better. You've done a decent job at cheering up dejected trolls in the past, but it's hard when you're feeling so crappy about your own situation. You mutter something about how things could still get better, you never know what the future holds, and yada yada yada, and she looks at you like she knows just how hollow your words are. You sound just like Bronya. And next are you gonna tell me how important jade bloods are and what an honor all this responsibility is? Give me a break. Optimism is for chumps and losers. Keeping grubs safe doesn't matter. The continuation of our species doesn't matter. Nothing any of us do fucking matters. You feel your blood getting hot to match the steel that's now in her voice. A sick part of you finds this train of thought a lot more viscerally satisfying than trying to cheer her up, which wasn't working anyway. You stamp your feet, and so does she. I can't believe anyone bothers trying to carve out a real life on this worthless shithole of a planet. There's no point. We might as well all be culled. In the back of your mind, you know you should maybe be disagreeing with some of this, but you're too worked up to care. Maybe Daraya is right. Maybe nothing matters. That's fucking right. Maybe I should just quit. You falter in your righteous fury. Maybe quitting is going a bit far. Maybe the high bloods that go around causing death and destruction just because they can't have the right idea. This is starting to not sound so great. What doesn't sound great about it? Who cares if I decide I don't want to be a caretaker and instead I just burn shit down for fun? There's no point to anything, so what does it matter? Who cares? Daraya's hands are balled into fists and her teeth are bared as she glares at you. You open your mouth, maybe to tell her that you care, even though you would probably sound trite, but no words come out. She scoffs and turns away from you and jumps on a crumbly-looking cafeteria table. You know what? Fuck this. Friendship is as pointless as everything else. She picks up one of the chairs, and you really need to stop being surprised at the strength of even the scrawniest looking trolls, and hurls it at the nearest fast food stall. You thought it was just a random throw at first, but it appears she was aiming with precision because it crashes into a tank of fuel connected to an oven. You're not sure how Alternian cooking technology works, but the stall explodes in a huge green-tinged fireball that knocks you on your ass. You watch in horror from your ass-level vantage point as the flames lick into the restaurants on either side, explosions happening around the food court like dominoes. Daraya stands on her table in the middle of it, unmoving even as the fire threatens to envelope her. This is probably the only place I actually like in this whole planet. So good riddance. If it's gone, one less thing to care about. With all the dust and debris, this mall is coming down fast around you. You desperately want to get Daraya out of here, but you desperately want to save yourself more. And Daraya doesn't look like she wants to be saved. You make a feeble attempt going over to her and trying to grab her around the waist to get her out of here, but she kicks you hard in the chest. Her steel-toed combat boot sends you flying, and it's once again 0 days since you last broke your ribs. As used to this pain as you are, it still takes you a second of lying on the floor in agony before you can push yourself up to look back at the food court. A wall of fire now separates you from the tables inside. You can't even see Daraya anymore. Your heart sinks. Maybe she'll come to her senses and pull herself up out of danger and escape through the caved-in roof. Maybe she'll get out some other way. You stumble to your feet, half thinking that maybe you can find water or a fire extinguisher in some part of this mall that isn't burning up. But the smoke chokes your lungs, and in your panic, your human survival instincts take over. You dash down the escalator as the mall infrastructure starts to crumble around you, and you don't want to abandon Daraya, but it's all you can do to get your own sorry self out of there alive. Game over. Terrifying indeed. Yeah, no, that is probably, I think that's one of the most heartbreaking endings out of every single Friendsim. That just completely wrecked me. Yeah, Odd, I'm sorry we lost her. No, that's just, yeah, that is absolutely one of the most heartbreaking endings of all of the Friendsims. That was you in high school. Yeah. No. Feeling that. Indeed, Aleph, it is break time. So music volume down. Set the timer for 5 minutes. I have to pee. Yep. And, we'll be back for Nihkee Moolah. Hello, I am back. Oh, good night, Sam. Oh, damn, I missed Sam taking off. Oh, dear. Oh, well, okie dokie, so it's time for Nihkee Moolah. So, moving on along. And hopping right into it. Okay, I'll read the intro and then we'll start talking about this interesting crowd here. dim lights, the din of a roaring crowd, and the smell of horribly overpriced and nauseating concessions. Even across galaxies, timelines, and perhaps even universes, there was still something deeply familiar about a sporting arena. So, there's a lot happening here. I know it's been confirmed that there are a couple of Vast Error trolls. I wouldn't recognize them because I do not read Vast Error, but they are present. A lot of these references I've seen. Oh no, there it is. Okay. The horse statue. Yeah, the 2 horse statues are fucking wild. Those nipples, okay? Those nipples got the initial release post by Trace Excalibur flagged as explicit content. Mr. Mime, yes. So there is a Mr. Mime on the far left. Let's start with that. There's a Mr. Mime on the far left. There is a John Egbert looking motherfucker near the front as well. I believe the guy with the shutter shades is supposed to be a reference to a Vast Error troll, but I don't read Vast Error, so I'm not sure. There's somebody without pupils. Maybe that's just a gold blood. I feel like, on the far right hand side, someone's making a Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff face. Epic, what? Epic Hentai Man? Is that the Vast Error troll? Must be female presenting. Yeah, I'm not even gonna start with the fuck shit that Tumblr is up to lately. That is too fucking much to talk about right now. That would take a long time. Yes, there's John looking motherfucker. And yeah, on the right hand side there's a Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff face. Yeah, and so it's a lot of just kind of like stock troll designs, I think. I don't know if there's any cameos in this one in particular. If there are, I haven't seen reference to any of them. Murrit, yeah, that's his name. Murrit from Vast Error, Mr. Shuttershades on the left-hand side. Smash your mother honking face in! There is also something deeply familiar about sports fans. Alicia! Well, such a shame having seats next to the purples. They can be so crude and forced, don't you agree? But your hut wouldn't be nearly this loud. Usually. You find yourself here, attending a wrestling show, or a display of muscular theater, to use troll terminology, thanks to the benevolence of one Amicia Erden. She won the tickets in a raffle and excitedly invited you to come along. You agreed, with some reservations that you quickly expressed. She was quite disappointed, but eventually agreed not to kidnap you and keep you locked up as a living paint jar since you're buddies and all. What a sweet friend. You have to admit, though, muscular theater isn't really your thing. It's as over-the-top and ridiculous as human wrestling, which makes it perfectly entertaining enough, but it's also, well, a lot more violent. Participants aren't expected to die, as far as you can tell, but you've already seen a few get wheeled off on futuristic hover stretchers with injuries you're not sure they could survive. Ooh, gosh, she nearly got impaled there. Every match tonight is taking place within a chain-link cage. Spikes surrounded on both the outside and inside, and jut out occasionally from places where the wires cross. The overall design, in addition to ensuring maximum bloodshed, seems to keep both the wrestlers inside and the audience out. Ironically, it might be safer this way. The current combatants are some olive blood named the Huntress, and a purple blood calling himself Culpits. Interestingly to you, there is nothing clown-like about him at all. So, maybe this was just a miscommunication between the writing and the art. because the writing is kind of intending for there to be nothing clownish about this character, but the troll depicted in the center of the arena is very clearly wearing clown face paint. Also, Huntress and Culpit's 8-letter names, ancestor names. It is almost conspicuous how unclowny he is, if only due to the absolutely ridiculous amount of clown content you have imbibed in the presence of other purples. The two fighters appear to be nearly evenly matched. The olive troll ducks and weaves amid blindingly fast punches from the purple, slashing at him with grandiose arm gestures, trying to overwhelm him with a barrage of small attacks. Every one of his punches hits hard enough to knock her down, but she always springs back up before he can land a second hit. She is incredibly steady on her feet and quicker than he. In fact, you get the distinct impression that the olive troll is holding back, presumably so as to avoid inciting the crowd. Thus far, you have not seen a single match in which a lower-blooded opponent triumphed over a higher-blooded foe. You think it's a mask? For a human, it wouldn't be clowny. Could be a mask. Yeah, and this, of course, like real wrestling, is staged. I must admit, this match is a lot more tense than I was expecting, but I hope it ends soon. There's supposed to be a really famous muscular theaterist performing next. Her name is Nihkee and she hasn't ever lost a fight. I heard she even beat a Violet Blood once. Nihkee, huh? Now that's a name you could befriend. She must be as big a deal as Amicia makes her out to be, because she uses her real name instead of some ridiculous made-up nonsense, like John Cena or Hulk Hogan. Oh, look! He got her! You flinch. The purple blood finally managed to get his quarry in his clutches, and he's lifting her up by the face, digging his fingers into her skull until you hear a sickening crunch and she collapses on the ground, panting heavily. She can't bring herself back up to her feet, and the announcer calls the match to an uproarious applause from the audience. Two trolls enter the cage and start dragging her out, while the winner basks in the audience's affection. The olive blood looks like she'll probably live, but she's got a dent in her face that probably isn't coming out. Ever. Ugh. All of a sudden you think you really need to go, get a bathroom. You mean, use the snack. You mean, you'll be right back. Oh, okay. Come back soon. This fight has given me all sorts of ideas for a new painting. You quickly make a break for it, jostling your way through the stands and towards the exit of the arena. But before you make it, a voice calls out to you. Some slick-haired and slick-finned violet-blooded guy wearing a full suit with a tacky flame pattern on it. Hey, you, alien. Me, you ask, pointing to yourself nervously. No, the other alien. You swing your head around wildly, looking for the other alien. This bit plays out predictably for a while before you both get on the same page, which is that you are the alien whose attention he wants. You looking to make a little extra buck? No, not really. You never spent all that money you won with Astasia. Okay, how about fame? Frankly, you were probably already too famous for your own good. Friendship? Oh shit, yeah. Sighing with relief, the troll leads you backstage whilst explaining that he is a promoter for this wrestling ring. One of the trolls that was supposed to perform tonight was eaten by some plant called a troll-devouring catch-a-grabber. That's a reference to something. But I don't know what specifically it would be. Little Shop of Horrors? But I mean, the plant of that is called Audrey too. Anyway. As such, famed muscular theatrist Nihkee has been left with nobody to fight. You will be that nobody, somebody. An alien will bring in all sorts of media attention and controversy, which of course means big bucks for him. And friendship for you. Squiddles reference? Oh. Like, is it from the album? Nihkee is so friendly, he says, in a tone so insincere, even your friendship-addled brain refuses to believe it. It's okay. You've met worse. There she is. He takes you into a back room, which seems to be full of performers waiting for their turn on stage. There are all sorts of trolls here, muscular and sweat-soaked, blue-blooded more often than not. One troll in particular stands out to you. From her severe expression to her softly pulsating robotic leg to the fact that she's the only troll with a fully illustrated sprite. And thus the meta jokes begin again. She's currently doing bicep curls with a set of spiked weights, huffing with exertion. When the promoter approaches, she looks up with a scowl. I'm busy. He begins to explain that he has brought a new challenger for her to face, but she cuts him off and stands up. She isn't as tall as you'd expect, but damn if she isn't dense, packing more brawn than any other troll you've met. Do you want to know what happens, sister, to people who disturb my preparations? Do you want to experience the bone-crushing, torso-shattering impact of these ladies right here? She flexes. God, those muscles are huge. The promoter tells her that she really doesn't need to keep up the act. There's no cameras back here. She gives him a stern look, which distinctly suggests that she has never dropped kayfabe in her life and has no intention of starting now. I meant to look up the definition of kayfabe. Also see if I'm pronouncing it properly. The fact or convention of presenting stage performances as genuine or authentic. Oh, okay. So she's never dropped the stage act in her life. Make it quick. The promoter makes it quick. So let me get this straight. You expect me, to perform with this thing? She seems less than impressed, which you find reasonable. Magnificent legs aside, you don't really look like the wrestling type. Don't you dare insult me, sister. I'd rather you pulled a Rusty from the audience than subject me to this humiliation. Oh, but you are more than just an audience member. Frail though you may be, you have the heart and soul of a wrestler. You have long, much longer than about 5 minutes, you thoroughly assure her, waited for an opening such as this, to reveal your true passion to the world, to come alive on stage and grapple and tumble with the best of them. For eons you have thirsted for your chance to sing the songs of sinew, the hymn of heft, the melody of muscle. Would that you could be blessed by the opportunity to live the life of the athlete, to perform alongside your hero, to show the world that you, too, love to do the muscly thing. Ah, that you might just... Okay, I get it. She glances over at the promoter, then back to you. It does seem surprisingly articulate for a lesser being. But is it ready for a butt-clenching, flesh-abrading, knuckle-blistering, muscle-rippling smack down from uptown? Oh. Kayfabe? Yeah. Wrestling adjacent for long enough that you're surprised when other people don't know the basic lingo. I do not know the basic lingo. My uncle and my cousin are both very into wrestling. Like, they buy the DVDs, they do the pay-per-view, like... They are super fucking into it, but it's never rubbed off on me. Okay. So. Short end out of the way. Actually, this is starting to sound a little much for you. You aren't sure you can quite match her, enthusiasm for the craft. Yeah, y'all, this is choice number 1. This was not an optional choice. We're knocking that short end out. I know, it's been a long lead up to it, but, that's what's up. I was just babbling because I was babbling. Who do you think you are, sister? You, who has the globes to step to me. You come into... What? Who has the globes to step to me? You come into my dressing room with those flimsy, stringy, insultingly puny arms of yours. Look me in my eyes and challenge me to a match. Beg for the chance to spar with me. And then cluck out like the pathetic alien whelp you are? Get out of my sight. Head bowed low, you retreat to safety, comfort, and the friendless expanse that is the audience. You can't even bear to look at Nihkee when she goes out and performs. You're so saddened by the loss of a potential chum. Well, that and it's kind of grisly watching her pull low-blood challengers from the audience and smash their faces into spikes. Okay, right. Content warning for this route. It gets more visually, graphic with the graphic violence than any of the other routes. Like, it's not just blood splatters in the corners. They show some shit. Just so you are aware, it gets much more graphic than any routes we've seen before. Case in point, normally they don't show like the actual gory dismemberment of trolls, but this shit's right up in our faces. So I'm just gonna keep going. And we're back. So, of course, the right answer is to say, yes, of course I am ready. Of course I want to battle you. Yes. You nod your head confidently. Blister my knuckles and abrade my flesh, you say. Let's get this smackdown started. You've got guts, at least. She turns to the promoter and gives him a curt nod. The match is on. Then she turns back to you. Now, sister, we need to discuss the show. I will make all the decisions. You will respond adequately to the storyline I present. It will be thus. The alien invader challenges me to an exhibition match to topple the mightyarchy. They fight valiantly and show an entertaining display of strength. But in the end, as is right and proper, the nobler hue of the hemispectrum prevails again. Oh my god, that's my best impression. I'm not getting any further than that. Homestuck does get pretty gory in itself, that is true. She starts flexing and showing off for an imaginary audience before turning back to you. Any questions, sister? Yes, actually, you do have a couple of questions. First, will you die? Looking out for number one, that is an important question. No! Unless you're particularly disgustingly weak, in which case, maybe! Such is the risk we take, we who indulge in the most noble and dignified of sports. I was willing to give up my leg for the craft. Is your life such a heavy price to pay for a tale that will transcend us and be remembered in the annals of muscular history? Is it, sister? Well, it's rhetorical. Right. Secondly, when she says exhibition match, it's a muscular theater term, referring to a match staged for entertainment that does not affect one's ranking on the Flexa ladder. We will not be sparring in the nude. Such glorious displays of raw, chiseled physique are reserved for the intergalactic Trollympics. No, yeah, you got that. Mostly you were wondering if it meant the loser's head being exhibited on a pike or some other bloodthirsty nonsense. Do not denigrate this noble sport with claims of savagery. Thirdly, you're getting the sense that she's going to be playing the heel, yeah? The what? You explained that in your own cultural equivalent to muscular theater, performers generally fall into the category of face or heel, wherein the face is the rule-abiding and sympathetic figure the audience is meant to root for, whereas the heel takes a more aggressive and unlikable personality. What part of my personality is unlikable? Do you dare suggest, sister, that the audience won't be roaring in thunderous applause and admiration as I conquer yet another pitiful foe? You tell her, you know what? She can be both the face and the heel, and you'll just be subjugated under my heel? Yes, exactly. Hey Moolah, chatting time's over. You're up. She jerks her head back at you and silently marches out of the room. You begin to follow when the promoter directs you and You begin to follow, and the promoter directs you to your entrance on the other side of the arena. You wait nervously for your cue to enter. Well, folks, we've had some technical difficulties, but here comes the match you've all been waiting for. Wearing the belt of the champions and a leg of her own design, she is ready to gut the competition. A paragon of power, a lady of legwork, a true blue roofie annihilator in the making. Clap those hands and activate your screech crevices. It's Nihkee Moolah! Nihkee approaches the cage to thunderous applause, raising her arms and soaking in all the praise. She flexes and poses as the audience throws glasses of milk at her, which shatter uselessly against her steely frame. This appears to be a common ritual for her. Just, soak up the fact that this sprite exists. I have a feeling, Trace Excalibur said before this volume came out that one of the sprites, files was called, one of Nihkee's sprite files was called Weird Flex, but okay. I'm gonna guess it was this one. She steps through one of the cage doors and it slams shut behind her, locking tightly. With her arms crossed and her teeth firmly gritted, she awaits you. As the announcer begins a new intro speech, you step forward. And in the other corner, frail in stature, weak in the knees, wearing a perpetual look of befuddlement, we have some messed up low-blood alien. How has this absurd mockery of life not been called yet? Perhaps only so fate could lead them to their thrashing at the bloodthirsty hands and barbed foot of the grand Nihkee. A decent portion of the crowd boos at you during your approach, which you find unsurprising. You have to dodge a hail of old boots and rotten fruit. Somebody throws an entire piano at you. Relatively unfazed, you enter the ring and hear the door close behind you. So, you've come here, alien, to prove your kind superior to the unbreakable, unstoppable troll species? Yeah, you shout. Your kind is so superior to trolls. And you, their emissary. Does this creature look superior to you, my theater enthusiasts? She turns to the audience, throwing out a hand and gesture to you. They boo. Is this sorry specimen the best its planet can offer? More boos. You counter that. You came more than prepared to tackle the, mightyarchy? Yeah, that. So, you claim to be prepared. But are you prepared to face these 24-inch slither noodles? I fucking love the phrase of that. I'm gonna have to just need some water. This is a lot of yelling. You forgot I was Canadian until I pronounced sorry like that? Why did I? Is my inflection different than Ohio? Ohio's not that far from here. Although, I guess I've been to and like heard from friends who live in like border towns and, you know, the kind of weird like smooshing of culture that happens in border towns. So I suppose American culture and accents would be a little different, even though Ohio is like very close to Southern Ontario. She flexes so hard the announcer's sleeves explode. So be it. I'll crush you in a single blow. You're expecting a referee to start the match, but then it occurs to you that there is no referee. Somewhere in the distance, a bullhorn sounds, which is apparently the signal to begin. Oh, I see now, Aleph. Yeah, it's sorry versus sorry. Okay. Yeah, I see. I can see and hear the difference in that. That's interesting. Without taking her eyes off you, Nihkee grabs the cage wall behind her and hoists herself up effortlessly, scaling it in reverse until she reaches the top. The announcer is screaming something about this move being called the Spiky Nihkee. Once she finishes her ascension, Nihkee deftly leaps from the edge of the cage and spins down towards you. Her body twists and writhes in multiple blindingly fast flips before her robotic leg comes slashing at you. You spend quite some time admiring her dazzling form before it occurs to you that you should probably move. You duck and roll forwards, feeling the point of her leg just barely graze your scalp. The announcer shouts, "First blood!" and you can feel a light trickle down the back of your neck. Some members of the crowd are booing, presumably because they just noticed the color of your blood. Between the neon lighting in the distance, they probably just think it's rust-colored and not a mutant red, so at least you have that going for you. What you don't have going for you is time to think about your next move, because Nihkee pivots on her heel and charges at you. This time, she's going for a more theatric throw. Two powerful hands grab you and lift you over her shoulder, where you nearly gore yourself on one of her horns in your struggle to escape. You plant two hands on her back and push hard, and you are delighted to find that her grip loosens and you go tumbling over her back, landing with a clumsy stagger on your feet. You're not sure if she let you get away with that one for the sake of the show, or if you just slipped out of her sweat-soaked palms, but you're going to charitably assume the former. She turns to face you, grunting and baring her fangs. She charges, rearing back a fist and then sending it barreling towards your fragile human nose. You leap out of the way, only narrowly dodging it. "All you've done is avoid me, coward! Where's your killer instinct? Do I scare you? Are you loath to face my true blue muscle-bound beauty?" You take this as your cue to attack, and instead you run full tilt away from her. It isn't fear carrying you, you'd swear. "Fool! There is no running or hiding from Nihkee Moolah. Stand and fight!" She sprints towards you as you flee. The crowd is on tenterhooks. Nobody knows what you're doing, least of all you, but you think you can pull something cool out of this. You leap at the cage wall, barely dodging the spikes that line it, and use the slight amount of give in the chain link wire to springboard you off. With an exuberant grin, you go flying towards her, arm held out for a classic clothesline maneuver, and then you collide with her arm and whoop! That's that. When you wake up, you are lying on what appears to be an exercise mat. You can feel a telltale throbbing sensation in your face that indicates a black eye. The rest of you, thankfully, doesn't feel particularly hurt. Nearby, you can hear the huff and puff of exertion. You glance over and spot Nihkee training on one of those leg press machines you always saw in gyms but never had the courage to attempt to use. She's wearing an exercise outfit which, despite its vastly different purpose, looks almost exactly like the outfit she wore in the ring. It has all the functions a fitness aficionado would want. It's loose, it's breathable, and the artists don't have to draw a second set of sprites for it. As soon as she notices you're awake, she turns to speak to you. She doesn't even stop her workout. "You're finally awake, sister. Welcome to my hive. I have spent so much time, so much precious, valuable time, waiting for you to open your eyes." Oh god, how long have you been out? "About 40 minutes. Whew, that's not so bad, is it? "Perhaps, but only when compared to your abysmal performance in the ring. To be knocked out cold by your own attack. Wretched! I am an impossible foe to conquer, and yet even a Rusty has towed me longer in the realm of mortal combat. You are weak, sister. Offensively so." She slams her foot forward with such velocity. The weight on the leg press goes flying off and leaves a dent in the floor. Grunting, she stands, takes a long swig from a bottle, and then approaches you with fire in her eyes. What do you have to say for yourself? You scuttle backwards, proffering only a sheepish smile. You're, sorry, you guess? I didn't bring you here for apologies. I brought you here to see your heart ignite with the will to improve. You are not a worthless being. You have a flair for the theatrics, an appreciation of the sport, and a shining soul filled with only the most intractable determination. You could be so much more than you are, sister. I could make you so much more. Cast your gaze around you and behold the Bronesium. Looks like a nightmare to me. You obediently cast said gaze around. This room is massive and littered with training equipment as far as the eye can see. Much of it resembles exercise machines like the ones you had in gyms back on Earth, but there is plenty more that looks far more alien and deadly. A treadmill, which appears to throw the runner into a vat of acid. A treadmill that appears to throw the runner into a vat of acid if they fall off. A series of swinging axes that would look at home in a dungeon. 3 different varieties of Iron Maiden, each more horrific than the last. This is presumably Nikki's personal workout studio, but you could easily mistake it for a torture chamber. You wonder if Ardanta has ever considered a job as a personal trainer. Maybe you should bring it up with her. There are some who may be worthy of my expertise. It is here that I can forge them, just as I forge myself, into beings of adamantine strength. The journey will be harsh. If you are made of weaker stuff than I believe, you will perish in agony. But if your core is strong and your will of iron, yours will be an unquenchable might. She extends a hand to you, her jaw set. Join me, sister, and together we shall ascend to Tumsant Heights. To Tumsant Heights? Of muscular perfection. There is a look in her eyes that you have never seen before. One of hope, of faith. Her arm vibrates, muscles quaking. Do you take it? Take her hand or hesitate? What's it gonna be, chat? Up to you. I'm just gonna stretch a little here. I don't think Mike would have picked those up, but I just got some really great cracks in my neck. I have been hunched over my laptop all fucking day writing my very last essay of the term. I am officially done with coursework. I have 2 exams and then I'm finished. Oh my god. Okay, so, odd you're voting hesitate. Aleph, you're going... Oh yeah, we're fucking absolute. I knew we were gonna go overtime with these. As they've gone on, as the friend sims have gone on, they have gotten progressively longer. So the 2 hours is it's not enough anymore. They've just gotten... yeah, longer and longer and longer each time. Okay, we have 2 votes for hesitate? I believe I am reading the chat correctly. Volume 18 is gonna be a massive motherfucker. I'll have to keep an eye on how long it takes me to initially finish it, so that I'll know how much time we need for it. Because we could actually do Volume 18 as next weekend stream. If I know, if I haven't beaten Sans by then, I do officially have the time to try and beat Sans now. Oh, also, I have started reading Problem Sleuth. Yay! So Problem Sleuth stream is forthcoming as well. Okay. Hesitate. You begin to offer your hand, but under her steely gaze, your resolve wavers. This all seems like a lot. Too much, even. You don't know if you're made of stuff tough enough for the training she seems to be offering. You would like to prove yourself, to become strong. You really would. But does she perhaps just maybe have any courses a little easier on soft and squishy creatures like yourself? The expression on her face grows terrifyingly blank. Oh, how do I like it so far? I am enjoying it so far. I just got to the part where you become a stick for the first time. So I'm not super far in. I only started reading it like 2 days ago. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm motoring my way through. Doesn't reach the emotional or theatric depth as Homestuck, but it does have very good shenanigans. Yeah, it's actually one of the catalysts was I have a friend who's read Problem Sleuth but not Homestuck. And we got into a conversation about Problem Sleuth, and he was talking about just the weird fucking shit. Like, it was a lot of spoilers probably. But I mean, I don't remember, quite frankly, I don't remember most of it now. Sorry, I just have to plug in my phone, my battery's dying. But, yeah, just the amount of, like, weird fucking bullshit that, you know, like, warning for Problem Sleuth spoilers, but, like Pickle Inspector briefly becoming God, if I'm remembering these things correctly. I know there's a point where they literally sew the fabric of time back together. 500 fucking pages a day. Holy fuck, Aleph. How did you do that? Your battery's at 1%. Go plug in Sneak Cat. Go save your stuff. Save your stuff and plug in your machine. Yeah, that's a wow, what the fuck. But yeah, no, I've heard some stuff about the shenanigans of Problem Sleuth that has absolutely piqued my interest. Yeah, and I'm pretty early on. Actually, I can check the page number. I am on page 141 at the moment. 141 if I don't know exactly how many pages actually. But I know that just looking at the log, I have a fuckload left to go. But yeah, no, I'm excited to read the rest of it. And hopefully I'll have that done in time that we can do a nice Problem Sleuth stream in good time. Okay. The blank expression on her face, grows terrifyingly blank. She's not scowling or snarling or sickened or any other S word. She's just looking at you with the vaguest hint of disappointment dripping from her otherwise neutral expression. Doing a binge read and then the first 2 seasons of Steven Universe in one weekend, like right after. Oh my god. Burn yourself out like the Gemini you are. That sounds really fucking intense. Yeah, wow. I very purposefully take my time when I go through things because, like, my brain just cannot process the information if I read that fast. Like, it it does not click. I miss a lot of things. I I physically cannot. Like, I'll enjoy the experience of, you know, binge watching or binge reading, but then I'll get to the end and be like, what the fuck did I just read? Because I do not remember shit fuck all. Okay. I gotta shift positions here. I've been sitting in the same position for 2 fucking hours. Okay, comfortable now. Brain works faster than your eyes. I got the opposite situation happening here. Shit just... It gets fucking slow up there for me, quite frankly. It's... I don't actually know why. I know it's like a thing. I'm in the process of figuring out why. Because it's definitely an issue. The speed at which I am able to process things. It is an issue. Anyway. I see. You're like all the rest, aren't you? Unworthy to receive my gifts. Unwilling to reach your full potential. A pathetic simpering thing playing at dreams of muscular greatness it can never achieve because it doesn't have the will for it. You're an insult to my art. You spit on my passion. Get the fuck out of my face and do not ever dare to return. Ooh, what a warning. Shrinking under her steely gaze, you quickly flee her hive. Is this it for you? Is the screen going to fade to black, replaced by a goofy, cartoonish end card and some somber game over music composed by artistic genius James Roach? This has got to be one of my favorite, this is one of my favorite meta jokes of all the fucking meta jokes that they've put in this. It's this fucking narrative right here. Is the screen going to fade to black, replaced by a goofy, cartoonish end card and some somber game over music composed by the artistic genius James Roach? Fucking truer words never spoken, though. Kudos, James Roach. I forgot to say anything about the music because I didn't have my earbud in, but like, the music for this route, fucking powerful. It's, you know, stuck in your head catchy. And it's so fitting. I was just taking a second to listen. I just put my earbud in. Yeah, it's just like super good. I especially love that kind of like climax around the bridge where it gets really intense and there's kind of like the organs come in. So good. Okay. Surprise! No, you refuse. You are not yet ready to call this friendship kaput. You will show her and her draconian methods up, damn it. It's time to get ripped! You're going to do it your own way, and then return, and she will be so utterly impressed by your muscular growth that she will have no choice but to admit that you are friend material. Sadly, you do not know any other blue bloods characterized by an absurd love of muscles and bodybuilding. They're basically all total nerds, actually, but you can perhaps think of someone from a nearby hue who can help you. Stelsa! I love Stelsa, and I'm so happy we get to see her again. Her door swings open with gusto, and you are greeted by a familiar smiling face. Oh, what an unexpected surprise! You really should have called, or texted, or did literally anything else to alert me of the fact that you wanted to visit me on such short notice when my schedule is so terribly packed. But that's alright, I can squeeze in a meeting, I'm sure. Do come in. Tisius! Again! It's a double Tisius special! Yay! You step past the threshold to the door and into her office/living room. Tisius is sprawled out across the couch, lazily holding a book to her face. It looks like she's studying, which is a relief to you, because you would have felt terrible if you'd interrupted some intimate time between them. Unless studying is intimate for them? You kind of hope studying isn't intimate time for anyone. The prospect terrifies. Hey, don't judge. Sneak cat, that's right, you had to go get your treasure. Surprise! Would you like to join me and ZZ for some grub loaf? It's no imposition, I promise. You absolutely would. You didn't know Stelsa was a cook on top of everything else she does. Oh, no, I could never. There simply isn't enough time. I'm just ordering from DoorSmash. Which food app is that referring to? I know that is abso-fucking-lutely a very specific food app reference, but it's, I don't know, possibly it's one that's only in the US, so that's why I'm not getting it. It's excellent stuff, really. It is. ZZ has some very colorful words for the taste. It's pretty bitchin'. I love that so much. So yes. Oh yes. You know, Tisius has some very colorful words for the taste. And smash cut to Tisius. It's pretty bitchin'. I love her. Fish snow globes, right? That sounds really cute. Yes, Sneak, I'd send it over. Yes, it's certainly that. Pencil our good friend here in for a dinner date, can you, darling? They're literally right here already. Ooh, you don't need to do that. Stelsa pauses and blinks, as if processing a foreign concept. Right! Ugh. Sometimes Stels forgets that you don't have to put everything on a schedule. Which is fair. School feeding changes a troll. That's so cute. They have nicknames for each other. Stelsa calls Tisius ZZ, and Tisius calls Stelsa Stels. Oh, they're so adorable. Are they GFs? Heck yeah. That was a big thing at for the good ending of Stelsa's route. Stelsa pulls up a chair and gestures for you to sit down in front of her desk. All that said, while we wait for the meal to arrive, let's get down to brass tacks. What brings you to my lovely abode tonight? Maybe they just want to see you. People don't always need a reason beyond that. Oh my god, there's such fucking... I love them so much. You actually do have a reason, though. Shit. You explain to Stelsa that you have a friend, more accurately a friend-to-be, or perhaps acquaintance, or perhaps a person of chum-adjacent quality, who you would like to impress through the pursuit of personal fitness. You recall that Stelsa was jogging when you met her, so maybe she could help you put together a fitness routine and you could do some workouts together? Her expression lights up and she clasps her hands together. Oh goodness, I would absolutely love that! My poor Zizi is usually far too tired and far too busy. Sometimes I don't know how I manage it myself. So I'd absolutely love a partner to keep... Train Ceziat running on time. Assuming, of course, you won't be late yourself and can keep up with my pace. Fair warning, it's blistering. Isn't it though? Thanks, Sweetums. Sweetums, oh my god. You confidently assert that, if nothing else, you can keep pace with her. Your legs have seen a lot of use. Walking, running, fleeing, prostrating yourself before clowns. You know, the usual. Excellent! We'll set up some meetings and then I'll add you to my schedule. My people will call your people, etc., etc. Thank you for visiting. It's been so lovely to see you. Toodaloo! She's halfway through shoving you out the door when you remind her that she invited you in for grub loaf. She hastily and apologetically pulls you back inside. Taisy is snickering in the background. Don't know what I'd do if I didn't have Stells. Someone has to be the energetic one in this quadrant. Fucking love their back and forth. They have such good banter. The contrast is certainly a stark one. Has Taisy considered quaffing energy drinks here or there? Perhaps they could help keep her pep up. 1, I'd probably literally die. 2, you don't want to see me on energy drinks. Nobody does. Fair. Now I'm just picturing Taisius, but like on caffeine overload, just fucking vibrating and just completely unable to stop talking. Just about whatever train of thought is happening up there, because we all know Taisius is very fucking tired, but there is a lot happening in that brain. You spend a while longer chatting with Taisius before the delivery arrives and the three of you have dinner together. The grub loaf is exactly as bitchin' as advertised. A wonderful meal with wonderful friends. The perfect precursor to the fitness montage yet to come. You visit Salsa multiple days a week, fitting yourself into her incredibly convoluted and packed schedule. The feat doesn't exactly prove very hard. You basically only exist to spend time with friends. Taisia's hair flute, cat on catnip, eyes vibrating. Yes, exactly. Precisely. Her equipment is delightfully free of torture devices. Besides her step machine, she also owns quite a bit of smaller exercise paraphernalia. Aerobic doodads and thingamajigs, yoga mats, jogging outfits. Even one of those huge bouncy exercise balls, which she bans you from using after you accidentally send it careening into a carefully organized stack of books. Stelsa carries herself forward with a peppy, always-on sense of gusto that can be difficult to keep up with, but her bright smile and encouraging attitude do wonders to keep you invested, to convince you that you really can acquire the swolehood you dreamed of. Swolehood. By the end of the perigee, you are, well, you wouldn't exactly call yourself ripped, but your muscles are definitely toned in a way that they previously were not. You feel hale and healthy, more energetic than ever, with a bit of extra pep in your step. Apparently, regular exercise makes you feel good? Wild. As you look at yourself in the reflection of the acid puddle, you flex and watch your muscles bulge. Fuck yeah. It's time. At least, you hope it's time. You climb into your scuttle buggy and prepare to set the autopilot to Nikki's place, but something stills your hand. Some strange sensation that has been slowly, surely settling into your stomach. A sense of unease, of dread. Your days of foolish ignorance are long past, and in their place, a burgeoning understanding of the universe in which you exist, and the harsh laws by which it rules its inhabitants. You are beginning to fear, made the wrong choice, with all the consequences such a lapse in judgment entails. Will you ever truly befriend Nikki, or are you cursed to live, for who knows how long, in a world without her sweet smile to cure your insatiable addiction? Mayhaps you need not wonder. Mayhaps the time has come to look inside yourself and know. Get fucking ready, folks. Here's where shit gets real. Oh, I'm so excited. You are going to give your chakras one real motherfucker of a blitzing. It's going to take mood music of the highest caliber. Having picked up some meditative tips from Boulder, you navigate your scuttlebuggy's radio dial to an achromatic buzz station, which is currently playing some soothing ocean sounds. The gentle lap of water meeting the shore, the rhythmic beat of the tide, and steady and as sweet as a mother's heartbeat. It's interspersed with distant honks and weird animal chittering, of course, because this is still fucking Alternia. You lean back in your seat, reclining it as far as it can go, and sink into the cushiony softness. Something sharp is poking at your rib, but you try to ignore it. You close your eyes and allow the white noise to flood your senses, blocking everything else out. Oh yeah, you are really vibing this shit right now. Chakra status? Blitz to high hell. You imagine causality as a river. Every choice a branch, tributaries upon tributaries winding ever downward, pooling in lakes of inevitability. The pit in your stomach gnaws. It all ends here, stagnant, bitter water, reeking of death. The ocean ever out of reach, your soul ever yearning for the single solitary estuary among all the ceaseless spillways. You take a deep breath. Water laps at your sides and tickles your ears. You are adrift. You feel the gentle bob as you float down the river, hear the rush like a ticking clock, gravity, time pulling you ever forward. Which river is this? To what end does it deliver you? Your breathing slows, then shudders. You feel the rapids approach. The rivers blur, then shift. Your heart rewinds, misses a beat. A surge of emotion, water streaking down the curve of your cheek. Your lungs ache. Which lungs? Which river? Which you? You try to focus, but the water beats at your brows, lashes your arms and legs, too tired to swim. You try for another deep breath, but nothing comes. With a tumultuous gasp, you sink beneath the surface to the churning darkness below. Here, amidst the battering onslaught, the images come. Whirls of emotion, of sound, of thought. Memories best forgotten or never known, lakes meant to remain uncharted. The crack of thunder, rain and tearfall, a single drop of olive. The record skips. The dark sky splits open on a fault line of lightning. Boulder's hand goes limp in your own. With shaking fingers, you reach out to touch her motionless cheek. Peace through rage. The whirl of the carousel. Horses whinny as the calliope sings. The circle takes you. Yet what's that you see above you now? A dark space has opened up, even darker than the night sky, and two stiff-looking winged figures are descending. Searching eyes implore you. The puppet's string stretched toward the moon. The flash of a blade. The spray of blood. Her strings are cut. I mean, the guy I run those errands for, he says I'm one of the smartest and cleverest teals he ever met, and that I'm really mature for my age, and this is Doc Scratch confirmed as the man who has been giving Torona orders. Or that Torona has been doing favors for. The crackle of energy, the world gone grayscale, eyes deeper than the deepest pit, a shuddering final breath. A fog closes in on you as you lie on the filthy pavement. Is it the fog of death or just impending unconsciousness? You don't know. One thing is for sure, though. You are lost. Lungs burning, water clogging every inch. You furrow your brow. Think. Find your river. Mixture of Diamond Bronya and Zebra's bad ends. Coughing, wheezing, a final rattling gasp. Panic seizes you. A resounding crack. The stamp of hooves, the ricochet of gunfire, the death of one of thousands. A low, sinister honk. Footfalls loud and deep. The swing of a club. Blood on the pavement. The bad endings of Rimmel, Polypa, and Follicle and Cuprum. Dark, acrid smoke. Indistinct voices and crackling intercom. A lurch beneath you, feet thrown out, neon energy crackling green. The bad ends of Malik, Vicaire, and Connell. Choking, desperate lungs of flame, you focused your will. Where are you? Which are you? Find your river. Piercing eyes, a stern, uncompromising gaze. It does seem surprisingly articulate for a lesser being. The singe of acid, crushing spikes, the body worn to nothing, all for her approval. The desiccated corpse of my ancestor who could do better than this. The puff of exertion, gray muscles flex and spirits lighten. A gulp of water, the shine of a smile. Salsa carries herself forward with a peppy, always-on sense of gusto that can be difficult to keep up with, but her bright smile and encouraging attitude do wonders to keep you invested, to convince you that you really can acquire the swolehood you've dreamed of. A looping tape, mirrors and mirrors, the mind, like time, infinite. The tributary splits, and you, finally, drift down your chosen river. Freshwater visions as you float toward the surface. A carefree decision, scuttling legs in the thrum of an engine. Cityscapes passing by. You shrug and start the vehicle, punching in Nikki's address and leaning back in your seat as the familiar sensation of the autopilot takes hold and the buggy begins to scuttle. Stern anger. A fist tightly clenched, shaking, barely restrained. Hope crushed under rigid foot. How dare you insult me by showing your face again? A plan, poorly conceived. At times like this, you envy the Purple Bloods. Well, you envy them quite often, actually. They've got amazing strength, unbelievably beautiful rap gods, and honestly, Fago's starting to grow on you. But right now, you just wish you were a contortionist. These vents are way too tight. Which is also a Gamzee reference. Purple Bloods and vents. Desperation. Madness. Friendship at all costs. See? Look how strong you are. You can lift these weights with ease. You can lift something bigger. You could be happy to demonstrate if she would stop advancing on you with intent to full Nelson your sorry ass. And here's where it gets, again, very, very descriptively gory. Navy blood pooling on the concrete. Troll and plan both collapsing. Cold hatred in her eyes. Tense footfall. Oh. And she's, my other leg! Tense footfalls on the pavement, muscles strained to exhaustion, the sun rising over a desperate chase. You're just thankful you managed to snatch your water bottle out of the scuttle buggy before she tore it in half. The importance of hydration is never more evident than when you spend hours fleeing in terror. How is she even doing this with only one working leg? Escape. Sweet bliss soon to shatter. Blood and bone turned to steel. Swallowing your fear, you leap across the tracks moments before the train comes screeching past you. Just behind you, you hear a grunt, then a scream, louder and more agonizing than you've ever heard before. Is this it? After days, is your odyssey at an end? Fruitless assistance. Your clothing, your soul, stained with blood. No more. No more. I can't disable her cybernetics. They equal too entwined with her biology. Get back. She's about to strike. Damn it. One more step. One more desperate step. One foot after another in the endless chase. Your palm husk died ages ago, but you've been etching lines in the back to keep track of time. You're nearing the 1-year anniversary of, well, you're not sure what to call it. The day you irrevocably ruined your life. The day you fled into the untamed wilds. You would celebrate, but you doubt you'll have time. She can't be far. Drenched in fear, in sweat, hidden, but not well enough. You try your best to stifle your ragged, fearful breath, but you know it's fruitless. Nothing can hide the terrified pounding of your heart to her bionic ears, nor the heat of your blood to her infrared senses. She can find you here. The curtains fall. One final heartbeat at the end of all things. Ba-bump, ba-bump. Nihkee Borg's searing blue eye flashes in the darkness. There is no more hiding. You close your eyes. You emerge from beneath the surface with a gasp, coughing up water, and... oh. It's just you, sitting in your scuttle buggy, gentle white noise still playing on the radio. You take a moment to catch your breath, your heart thumping against your ribcage like it wants to crawl out and beat you senseless for subjecting it to all that horse shit. Whew. Okay. Enough meditation for one day. You think you're just going to reach over and kinda set the autopilot to Stelsa's house instead of Nihkee's. Yeah. You have no idea if this will avert or merely delay some horrifyingly grisly end or another, but it's better than the alternative. And besides, you really want some more of that bitchin' grub loaf. So that's Nihkee's bad end. I know, y'all are yelling in chat. It's each progressive friend sim since Boulder's route. Except for, I think, which one was after Boulder? I forget which one was after Boulder. But, yeah, each progressive friend sim route, MSPA Reader has been getting a better and better grasp on the nature of their reality and how to kind of control it, how to tap into that. Yeah, Nihkee is fucking terrifying and dead. Indeed. I know, right? This is a fucking spin-off. Was that... oh, yeah, Malik and... which one is the best olive again? They're all wonderful. I don't know which one you're talking about. But, it was Malik and Lynura. Right, Malik and Lynura shared a volume, not Olive Blood. But, yeah. MSPA Reader seems to be just getting, a better and better grasp on the reality of the situation and how to take advantage of that, how to explore it. It's just, like, they fucking outdid Marvis. Polypa. Of course, Polypa. I know, Malik and Polypa and Tagiri all trying to help MSPA Readers survive Nihkee Borg. Yeah, like, this is one of the things that makes me simultaneously super excited and fucking terrified for volume 18 but like terrified in a good way, because holy shit, they keep outdoing themselves. How are they gonna fucking outdo it in the next volume? Because they absolutely are. It's the grand finale. They're gonna, they've got fucking Lanque and Barzum and Baizli. Barzum and Baizli, who Trace Excalibur has basically already confirmed is going to be the root that brings all of the pieces together. Holy shit, I am so fucking excited. Anyway, that was amazing. Also, I didn't say anything about it at the time because I wanted to keep the narrative flow moving, but that piano remix of that remix of the title screen music is so fucking beautiful. Wow. Like, the title screen music was already like super nice and chill, but like with that, like, kind of the transition in, and then they give it the bridge, and it's just, ooh, buddy, beautiful. Just fucking beautiful. Wow. Fuck, it's 1:30. Okay, so loading back in. Suppose all we have left to do is see what's up with the good end. Take her hand. You take her hand, staring into those hopeful eyes. Oh, to see that deep sapphire blue filled with the glow of friendship. She squeezes your hand so tightly you feel for your fingers fracturing. Excellent! I knew you had the spark. Now, to make a flame. To grind and crush and pummel the flint. Ooh. Until it bursts into the roaring blaze of strength. Today, I shall begin by testing your limits. Come. She leads you to the treadmill and the deep, bubbling pit of acid directly behind it. You nervously step on. We're going to measure your speed and stamina. Run until you can run no longer. She starts up the machine. She gives you a nice, breezy jogging pace at first, but the treads quickly begin to whir away at a blindingly fast rate. You're sprinting as hard as you can to keep up, holding desperately onto the arms of the treadmill. Come on, sister. Grit your teeth. Put some fresh sinew in it. If you're not evacuating your acid tract by the time you're done, you aren't trying hard enough. That's a really bad way to approach exercise, that if you're not puking by the end, you're not trying hard enough. No, that means you're trying too hard. That's bad. Please don't. Sweat beads in your forehead as you push your legs to the limit, running like you're being chased by an angry drone. Your feet must be blurring like Sonic the fucking Hedgehog by now. The treads are moving ever faster, and you can almost feel yourself slipping. Got to hold. You lose your grip and go flying backwards, narrowly grasping onto the edge of the pit and dangling into it. Your toes singed by the acid. Ouch! You hoist yourself up over the edge and roll to the side, hissing. Nihkee stands over you, clucking her tongue. Top speed, 12 miles per hour. That's good, right? For a bronze blood. Next test. She takes you from machine to machine in quick succession, each time commenting on your skill level. Your biceps are as terrible as Rusty's, your lungs are gold at best, your legs are an unexpected cerulean, and all the while taunting you, encouraging you to push yourself further. The desiccated corpse of my ancestor could do better than this. You struggle to deadlift a giant barbell made of dead monster skulls. Are you going to eject this May fluid all night long, or are you going to woman up? You go toe-to-toe with a punching bag that shoots sonic blasts at you whenever you hit it. Shape up or get ejected onto the nearest solar execution barge. You sob as she forces you to do 30 minutes of free-form jazzercise. Your jazz hands are terrible! By the time an hour is up, you are panting and huffing, desperate for a break. Nihkee finally relents. Your reward for staying alive thus far. Stay hydrated, sister. She tosses you one of those protein shake bottles that gym buffs are always chugging from. You regard the mixture within curiously for a moment before throwing caution to the wind and gulping some down. Woman up. I know, right? Yeah, and she's been going sister this whole time. Obviously a direct foil to popular wrestling personality. What is it? Hulk Hogan who does that stuff? Brother and all that jazz. Anyway, yes, legs of a cerulean. Very impressive. Good legs. Always good legs. You regard the mixture within curiously for a moment before throwing caution to the wind and gulping some down. When has imbibing alien substances ever hurt you before? But when the flavor hits your taste buds, you almost retch. Is this Gatorade mixed with milk? Ugh. Oh, Hulk Hogan. Yes. Okay, cool. I got it. Nutritious and delicious. Ugh. You keep chugging it. You need the liquids, foul though they be. Alright, lactose break over. Let's continue. She leads you over to one of those Iron Maidens. This one doesn't actually look spiked. It just has a blunt, bumpy surface on the inside. Get in. What? Get in, sister. You reluctantly step inside the Iron Maiden and the door clamps shut around you. This thing is far, far too tight for you, and the bumps are pressing into you from all sides, threatening to squeeze you away into nothing. You groan and push back against the walls, desperately trying to keep them from crushing you into a little human waffle. Just when you think your strength is about to give out, the Maiden opens. Pressure resistance about olive level. These results are surprisingly adequate. Your potential continues to shine. Good work. Gatorade was made in Florida and named after the Florida Gators? Oh. Well, that is a fun fact. Odd. This halfway point seems to mark a change in her attitude as you continue to, just barely, persevere through everything she throws at you. Like a shake weight so powerful it leaves you shuddering intermittently throughout the next few exercises. Keep steady, sister. Don't lose heart on me now. A rowing machine that douses you with boiling water if you can't keep up the pace. Go, go, go! We'll make a fuchsia medalist out of you yet. Fuchsia, of course, because gold is associated with the gold bloods. Literally being chased around a field outside by a giant, toothy monster. Don't you dare allow this thing the satisfaction of feasting on your bones. After hours of this grueling work, you finally collapse. You think some of your bones are broken, your heartbeat is coming in quick and irregular pulses, and you can hardly breathe. Your vision blurs and shifts at the edges. God, you're amazed you haven't passed out yet. Get up! You glance wearily up at Nihkee, expecting her to be looking down at you with disdain, but instead you see her crouching down and offering you her hand, wearing a smile. You take her hand and she pulls you up to your feet. Look at that face! Ah-ha. The look on her face now resembles pride, and when she claps her palm on your shoulders, it only kind of hurts. You done well, sister. I threw everything I had at you, and you soldiered on with a head held high, even as your body broke beneath the weight. I have never seen such commitment, such strength of heart and soul, such dedication to the craft, such appreciation for the most righteous of pursuits. You are no more mere workout partner. You are a workout friend. A light blossoms inside you like the neighing of a horse. Of course, the horse reference comes with a fucking blue blood. This feeling of power, of strength, of bond between warriors. This is real and true, and this light will never, ever leave you. As you bask here in the satisfied and sweaty glow of a good workout, you realize that planets, universes, dimensions, realities, powers, principalities, and cosmos come and go, but being swole as fuck is forever. Victory. Being swole as fuck is forever. And that is Nikki's good end. Y'all just get buff. And also, at 1:40 in the fucking morning, 40 minutes overtime, that is Volume 17, the second last Friendsim volume. As is tradition, let's take a look at the credits. Director and producers are the same. Writers: David Turnbull with Nihkee. Snaps for that, David Turnbull, you sly fucker. Yeah, it's been a long time since we got... It's been a long time since our very first kill. Ah! Okay, I'm gonna find, read, and link. Earlier today, David Turnbull was answering asks on Tumblr and was... you know, posted some, you know, what we refer to as behind the scenes fun. So I'll read you the post as well. Here, I'll link it in chat. I'm not gonna bother switching the visuals because that's just fucking annoying. So, okay. Oh, a little more behind the scenes fun for you all. When I first drafted Nikki's route, it looked a lot different, and while I'm mostly happy with the final cut, I sadly had to drop the original bad end, which involved some fan faves. Here's some early writing and dialogue I had. It wasn't too hard to find Kuprum's Chitter account, and from there, his contact info. Anytime someone you followed posted something even vaguely critical of Trizza or the Empire, he would be there in their mentions, penning up upsettingly detailed descriptions of what he was going to do to their Lucis. And then Kuprum, smug Eastern Alternian trolled on ZPEG. Follicle. Why don't you come down behind the dumpster and say that to my face? It's on the corner of Grime Artery and Tug On. And Nihkee, Tug On? Follicle. Yeah. Tug on my bliss jut, bitch. Nihkee proceeds to throw phone on the ground and utterly obliterate it with her robo leg. So that's where's my file? There it is. I gotta remember to paste that link so that I put it in the video description. But that's a little look at the tug on my bliss jet, bitch. Oh my god. Yeah, another little bout with Cooperman and Follicle would have been very interesting. Okay, so yes, Nihkee was written by the one and only wonderful David Turnbull, and Daraya was written by C.L. Kyle, who has written all of the other Jade Bloods, and I would be surprised actually if C.L. Kyle is not also the one who is presently writing Lanque's Friendsim. But yes, C.L. Kyle. Character artist, Adrian Garcia. Fabulous shit. Fucking amazing. I love her art so much. Okay. Backgrounds are Phil Gibson, Poinko. And the same with the ending illustrations. Alright, UI designer, as always, David Turnbull. Music. This is once again... That fucking kills me every time. The goddamn... Sea of Bowsette. So, as usual, James Roach. 2 James Roach originals. 3 actually for this one. So, first we have Daraya's theme. Trollkind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain something of equal value must be lost. That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange. In those days, we really believed that to be the world's one and only truth. Which is a reference to Full Metal Alchemist. It is almost a direct quote, I believe. They just kind of replaced Trollkind and Humankind. Yeah, and then someone else mentioned a few other Full Metal Alchemist references. in Daraya's route, or maybe it was just the one. But they mentioned that also in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I haven't seen. It's on my watch list. I'll get to it eventually. One fucking day. How is his name Elric? I keep thinking Elward because fucking Elward, but Elric and his brother, they burned down their house so they can't go back. And of course, in Daraya's bad end, she said, this is one of the only good things left in this world. Well, what does it matter if I burn it down? So someone drew that kind of comparison as well. And then Nikki's theme is LMAO, I still don't know if it's Nihkee or Nike, like the shoe, not like the name Mike. Edward Elric. Okay, yeah. Those are the character that I am referring to. And of course, this special theme, they're just calling it special theme, which would be the title theme remix that played during the meditation section, is called End of Friendvangelion. And apparently there's some other Evangelion references that can be pulled out of this one, but again, haven't seen it. I'm a bad anime fan. Alphonse! There we go. Yeah, Ed and Alphonse. They burn their house down. Game design and programming, both David Turnbull and Min Shipley for this one. And quality assurance, always Sandra Crawford. Okay. So, second last friend sim done and done. All right. So, this weekend, yeah, here's what I'm thinking. Because I recently remembered that I do have a mysteriously obtained PDF copy of the Sweetburn and Hella Jeff book alongside the miscellaneous stream that was planned. So, I'm going to say this weekend our two streams are going to be... actually, I don't know how long the Sweetburn and Hella Jeff book is, so I'll be tentative about it. Friday will be a Miss Homestuck stream. We're just going to be listening to albums. And, taking a peek at the Sweetburn and Hella Jeff comics. And just kind of chatting about that. Some miscellaneous Homestuck content to kind of fill the space. While I try to kick Sans' ass. If I happen to finish reading Problem Sleuth before next weekend, so the weekend of the 14th, maybe I'll start Problem Sleuth that weekend. But I gotta finish reading it first. Yes. So, yeah, miscellaneous chillin' and chatting. Very good description of what I'm hoping that Friday stream is gonna be. Just super fucking chill. So I'm gonna take a look at the Sweetburn Hella Jeff book. If I think it's long enough that if I think it's short enough that I could do it in one stream, then I will do it as the second stream this weekend. If not, there just won't be one. Or maybe there will be two. It depends on how long, because there's a couple of different things that I would like to get through for the Misk stream. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, so I could possibly pull out the Misk stream over 2 streams. I'm going to say yes, we're definitely doing something on Saturday, and if we finish everything on Friday night, then I'll figure out something, but I really doubt we're going to finish everything on Friday. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. That's all for today. One more left, folks. One more. Okay, now I am on break, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep on the only Friendsim bonus streams for now because I don't have a lot of bonus stream content ready yet. I have games that I would like to look at, but they are visual novels that I have not played yet, and I like to have a sense of what I'm reading and playing before I go into it, just so that it's a little easier to sight read, a little easier to kind of guide the course of the stream, a little easier to pick places to stop, and a little easier to filter content, because what if I buy a visual novel and then I'm like, wow, this is shit. Okay. Yes, trying to sleep sounds like a good idea. My schedule has shifted to a really weird place, so I'm probably going to be up a little longer. However, yeah, I'm going to read some Problem Sleuth. I hope that you have all had as much fun reading along, hanging out, as I have had reading aloud and seeing all of your reactions in chat. I love that shit. Okay, thanks so much for hanging out today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. And good night.